The way my therapist laid it out for me and explained it, it's pretty much that, I moved here from Serafina town to kind of escape my trauma, but you can't escape your trauma. You take it everywhere. And I've boarded myself up in this house, and I have tried to run away from everyone associated with the biggest heartbreak of my life, but avoiding them makes it worse. So I guess seeing Joey, seeing Brian, it's kind of like exposure therapy for me. Because every day that I go to work, every day that I go grocery shopping, I'm always looking over my shoulder. Is someone going to find me? And my therapist pointed out that that's not a healthy way to live. I have to confront people.
And that's all well and good if it's helping you, but don't let these therapists trick you into doing something dangerous. I'm not against therapy at all, but I've been helped by regular folk more than I've ever been helped by no therapist. You know what I mean? Don't let them lead you into traffic to make you free yourself about something. You know what I mean? You could stand there all day, give me all the reasons in the world why you shouldn't be scared of this and why you shouldn't be scared of that, but I can come back with a million reasons why you should be scared. And I'm not trying to put fear into you, but forgive me, but don't be stupid.
No, but I'm never going to be a good mother to Charlotte if I live in fear. We're never going to go to Hershey Park or go back home to New York to see the Brooklyn Cyclone or something if I'm living in fear and boarded up in its home. I get why I ran away at the time, but Dad, I don't want to fear people. I have weapons. I am strong. I'm not a pushover anymore. I can handle BS. For real. I'm not scared of it. I can't be scared of it. I understand what you're saying, the world isn't a safe place, but you gotta live your life too.
You don't gotta obsess over work or nothing. I'll always financially help you in any way that I can.
I'm not being stupid, Dad. I have to worry about work as well. I can't turn down opportunities that other people are taking simply because I want to protect my daughter 24/7.
You're temporary. I don't have that many skills. I still make money.
Dad, with all due respect, you work at a grocery store. I was gifted this home by Nanny Agatha, and whether she wants me to pay the mortgage or not, I'm paying it. And I have other bills to pay, and I'm sorry, but your salary at the store pushing carts isn't going to help me out on a rainy day. Everything falls on me to provide for my daughter. I want her to go to a good school when I'm ready. I want her to be I want to know, obviously things happen everywhere, but I want to know that I have some peace of mind when I drop her off in the mornings.
Alright, that's no problem. I watch Charlotte on the weekend. You go have your little weekend. Do it. I got her. Let me babysit her. I may have not been in your life, I may have not been in Gina's life, but I know how to be a good caretaker. I'm not inept.
Dad, I told you that when you entered into my life, I was going to be unfiltered with you and explain everything, what I'm feeling, and not hold back. And to be frank, I just don't trust you watching her for that long period. It's one thing if you watch her while I'm grocery shopping or meeting with someone, or the in-between periods of when I don't have a nanny. On those days, fine, because I can run right home. But for a whole weekend, my work trip, there's a work trip that I want to take, and it's in Ohio, and that's a long flight from here. I'm going to be gone Friday to Monday. I don't trust you watching her. And I want to take this trip. I don't want one of my colleagues to take the opportunity. I want to continue to move up.
Why not? I've never given you no reason. Every time I'm alone with Charlotte, every time that I watch her, give her a bath, whatever, I've done my best. should come out in one piece. When you love somebody, it don't really take much to take care of them. I got common sense, and ain't nobody coming in to kidnap her or nothing like that. And look, all the security you. If something happens, if I get worried, or she ain't stop crying or something, I'll go out there. I'll get the security guard. I'll contact you. I told you when I was uncomfortable feeding her, and she is nowhere near eating a mozzarella stick. And what did you do? Oh, don't worry about it. And that was the scariest moment of my life when I don't even want to talk about it. So I ain't never gonna live that down, huh? That is an honest mistake. Things happen, accidents happen to the best of us. The best parents out there make mistakes all the time. Kids falling off the bed. Kids falling off the slide. I ain't perfect, you're not perfect, you probably made mistakes too. You and I are on good terms, you're back in my life, and I think that I love you as a dad, again. Or maybe even just for the first time. I want you in my life, I do, and I will grow to trust you more over time, but for this, I think that I'm gonna ask Joey. Just based off of his reaction to her last time, just off of how he used to be a dad to Junior, I want to do this. I want that form of exposure therapy.
It's ridiculous.
You cut ties with all these people, you moved away, you living in this castle filled with all this security. You started your whole life, now you reverting back. You got me. I love Joey, but still. He can come here, you guys can hang out. Doesn't have to be a big deal, it's just a weekend. One weekend. There's going to be a lot of high profile people at this place in the book publishing industry, and I don't want to miss out. And I there's enough time to give Joey a heads up. And
First of all, how you know he wants to do this for a weekend? Second of all, you're playing with the man's emotions. You know that? You gotta let him babysit his kid. You just using him. You just playing him. You let him, you contact him when you need him. Hey, right? You either have him in your life or you don't have him in your life. Don't make him jump back and forth like he playing hopscotch. You know, I'm telling you like it is. Don't play with the man's emotions. Don't make him get attached to his daughter. You know how he is. He's got a heart. Can't do that to a man.
this is my options. I can't ask Brian. I don't feel comfortable doing that. I would like it to be him. But it's not fair to him. And I know he's in a relationship now, and I don't want to make his life weird. So I need to ask Joey. It just feels right.
You know, you fired that last nanny and then you hired another nanny. Why don't you get your new nanny to do it if you can't have me do it?
I asked the new nanny. They don't do the weekends. So I have to ask Joey.
Does this therapist that you go to, they got kids? Because from what it sounds like, they're giving you all this advice, this hippie advice, and telling you put your career before your kids and all that. Like, the only reason you even stressing this or you want to do it is because you're putting your career first right now. Right?
I just explained it to you, Dad. I went to college for this. I've dedicated a good part of my life to this, and it's the one thing that I feel like I can control. And I don't want that taken away from me. I don't want to give that up. I can't just be a mom. It drives me crazy. I need more than that. And it makes me feel strong too when I'm going to work. It takes my mind off of what happened, and I can't explain it to you, Dad. I really can't.
I'm warning you, if you ask him to babysit Charlotte for a weekend, you're opening up a can of worms. So,
It just don't sit right with me. And I'm sure they're gonna sit right with him. And what are you gonna do if he turns it down?
Like, okay, if he turns it down, I will think of other options, and if those other options don't work, I will ask you.
I'm her grandpa. You making me beg.
Hi guys. Before we move on to the next scene, and so we don't ever have to sell you beef jerky, today's episode is brought to you by When the Toxic Mother-in-Law, the book based off of our show. Get it today on Amazon. The link is in the description. I don't know how people can still enjoy my mother running Stoom and control all the medical stuff in this town when, I don't know if you just read, but she somehow networked her way into raising the retirement age in this town to 70. I don't see one article critiquing her. Everyone just goes about their business. And it's fine. She's great for doing that.
Yeah, I did hear that. I was about to tell you that, actually. It is amazing to me that she's viewed as such a respected hero when she's willing to make people work longer in town. And what was her excuse for raising the age?
The only reason that I saw listed for her reasoning to do that is so that people can earn more money by some logic, and that money gets funneled back into the medical industry in town. But there are sick people who can't afford surgeries, and I don't see where the money goes. Maybe I'm just critiquing because she's my mom. I don't know. It just makes me sick that people don't know her.
Now that's a really vague excuse, because where she handles all the funds of the Serafina Town Organization of Medical, she gets all that money. What does she do with it? She doesn't disclose that. That's where I think you need to double down on going against her in a way. When you run, when you do your campaign, point out your own mother's flaws.
I agree. I don't mind doing that whatsoever, because that's authentic to me. That's not me faking. I do want to be authentic as I run for governor. I don't want to fake anything. I don't want the ads on TV to come off like, I don't know, I'm just playing a character or something. I want to mean what I say and do what I mean. But at the same time, if I bash my mother and I'm running a campaign on how important it is to love family and how family comes first and blood is thicker than water, doesn't it just contradict everything that I'm going for?
It absolutely goes against family. But here's the thing. You need to say it in a way where she is my mother and I respect her, but her ways are outdated, and now I need to respectfully step in and make things better for the town and make it seem like you don't want to be arguing with your mother. You love your mother. You adore your mother. She doesn't have, as far as we know, she doesn't have recorded conversations of you being nasty to her or anything like that. And you also need to frame it where you, as a mother, know your own limits. That when your time comes, where your son or daughter is smarter than you or can do things better, you'll understand that it's your time to go too. You have to be that humble hero for them.
I like that. You are a great help. You and my campaign manager, Adelaide. I feel like I have a good team, and I feel like I don't need anyone else. I don't need to run I don't need a stylist or anything like that. I want to start. I'm all happy to make speeches at the Serafina Town Institute of Faith, but I want to get my hands dirty. I want to start running. I want to be out there talking to people of the town. I really want to get started. I'm not getting any younger. How do we start?
All right. I was waiting for this part. I was waiting to get to this stage because I feel like we're here. Now, you know, Serafina Town acts under its own rules and regulations and legislation. It's not impossible to get on the ballot for the primary, but there is a hurdle. They call it the hurdle of 10 because you need 10 signatures, you need 10 letters of recommendation, and you need to verify each of those people ID wise. You need to prove that they're real, that they've lived here, that they are taxpayers, that they are residents of Serafina Town.
Jonathan, in today's world, everyone is bothered. We get emails and spam calls and people at our door with pamphlets, and no one wants to sit down and write a recommendation letter. And I don't know a lot of people across all those industries. This is the first time that now I feel like here it is. Here's the catch. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can gather 10 recommendation letters that are gonna like pass a review. And
yeah, no, that's where it gets a little tricky. So you need 10, like I said, but each letter of recommendation has to come from someone in a specific field here in Serafina Town, because I guess the history of this town, they want everyone that runs for a political office here, they want them backed by the people of the town, the people, more importantly, that work for this town, that make up this town. So you need a letter of recommendation and a signature with verifiable ID from someone who works in an academic field. So that's number one. Someone who works in the service industry. They list what they consider the service industry. The medical industry, so you know, a doctor, a sonogram tech, or someone like that. You need a signature and a letter of recommendation from someone in law enforcement, someone in the military, someone in the food industry. I don't know why they don't put food industry under service industry, but it is what it is. You need a letter of recommendation and a signature from someone who has paid Serafina Town taxes for exactly or more than 20 years. You need someone from a church, so that could be me, and a freelancer and a family member. So those are the 10 signatures and letters of recommendation you need with verifiable ID. And then once you gather that all together, it's passed before a judge. The judge looks over it, either approves or denies it, and then if it's approved, you will move on to the next step, which is pretty much clerical, and go before like a city council, I believe. You do a few interviews, and then you can be put on the ballot, and then you will be in the primary. I know it sounds crazy, but there are 50 or more candidates that can sometimes be in a race, so it's the level of entry isn't that difficult.
I'm sorry for being doubtful. I guess it's very easy for me to sit here and be excited to run for governor and have all this willpower, but in the back of my head I am reminded that I have no experience and I have a lot of faults, and I have made a lot of enemies and broken a lot of relationships over the years. I guess I just have been waiting for that one hammer to come down to tell me that this is stupid, ridiculous, and out of reach for me. And I guess what you just told me as a rule was confirmation bias on my end. Do you really think that I can do this?
Stop. You just have to. There's a way to go about it. You know, there may be some fields there that you don't know people in. You know, like the medical industry, but you walk into a hospital, you state your case, you make a connection, you get that letter, and
seems daunting, but this is the least of our concerns, okay? This is the first of many problems that we have to face, but we need to persevere through it. Okay? I don't think that you can. I know you can. You will become governor. This town's going to be incredible when you do.